Hello everyone. So in this video, we'll be looking at this topic of pricing analytics using a restaurant sample in SQL. So SQL is a structured query language which is used in multiple databases. You can query data in different data warehouses such as in BigQuery or MySQL or PostgreSQL. So here we'll be looking at an example of a restaurant sample where we'll ask some questions about the pricing and we'll analyze the data and get some basic stats using the SQL query. So moving to the understanding of this, assuming we have started our own business as a restaurant and we have certain dishes which we are good at. So we would be serving chaat, North Indian Chinese cuisines to our customers. And pinpointing to my current location, I've seen that there are other three restaurants which are very close competition to me because they're serving the same kind of cuisine at a very competitive prices. So now what I did was I went to Zomato, checked their menu, understood the prices across different cuisines, and tried to collate that data in an Excel file. So this will help me to understand that when if I have any festive season which is going on, let's say a World Cup cricket match or maybe some regional festival, at what price should I give the discount to the customers in order for a better value. In Excel, I have three sheets. One is my restaurant, other restaurant, and another is the question which we're looking into. So in my restaurants, I have the data from column A to column G, and which is the actual data, while column I to P is basically I've just concatenated the values over here to create the table in SQL. So going through the data, here we have different items, my item ID, item name, the type of dish which we have here. What is the original price? What do you want to keep it? And at a discount price, what do you want to keep it? And also, this discount price will be valid from which date to which date. So here I have item ID and the same item ID, I'm mapping it to other restaurants. So here what I'm doing is I've noted down the Pani Puri price of restaurant one over here. For the same item, I have noted down the price for restaurant two as well as restaurant three. So I can get to know what prices each of these different restaurants are giving at. So now my whole goal objective is to have a comparison between them. So here also in the rest of the columns, I have just concatenated to create a SQL query. So in the questions, what I want to understand is which is the highest priced item in North Indian? What in our Chinese dishes, what is the lowest price? What is the price competitiveness? We'll be creating this SQL table as well as uh, querying and playing with this data on a free online tool which is called DB Fiddle. So in the DB Fiddle is basically a SQL database playground where I can create tables, I can query them. So for this, what I'll do is I'll just go to the SQL table. So if you notice, I've created this notepad. I've just copy pasted it from the Excel itself and created the query table over here. So here my queries are basically I'm creating a table which is called my restaurant with these fields and these data type. So here I have item ID which is in varchar, which is in character string, and I have the limit of it 4. I can keep it any limit and depending on the kind of values which I need to enter in. I have int as well as a date, and in this same thing I'm inserting the values which are present over here. So this is the format over here. So I'll just copy this data. I'll just paste it over here. So now let me just do a simple query, whether this is really working properly or not. So I'll just do select star from my spread. So this query is running over here. Also, one more thing to make sure that I'll be using common table expressions. So which will be a CTEs over here. which is not supported in 5.7, but it can be supported in 8.0. So I'll just upgrade the MySQL version so I can run those queries. So here I have the complete data and the table is working fine. So my first thing is that I want to know what is the highest price item in North Indian cuisine. So what I'll do is I'll just put here a condition where type of dish is equal. So here I have a North Indian dish and I want to know the high expensive product. So what I'll do here is I'll just put item ID and item name and I'll also put my price. So now in this case, I want to know the final price. So here what I'll do is I'll just use an if statement where I'll see that my current date is falling between start and end date. And if it is, then consider the discount price. And if it is not, then consider the original price. So I'll just put an if condition. If my start date is less than equal to my current date. And if my end date is greater than equal to my current date. So if I meet this condition, then I need the discount price, else I need the original price. And this I'll be considering as my final price. So here is my final price which I need. And what I'll do is I'll just order it. I'll just sort this complete data by my third column. So I'll just write order by 3 referencing to the column number which I need to sort by. And I need to sort by in descending order. So after sorting it, I can basically limit it to just give me one record because I just need the highest price item. So I'll just run this. After running this, I'll get to know that Handi biryani is the most expensive item in the North Indian cuisine with item ID 3004 and final price is 26. So this is how I can use to get this start. Now, the next question is in our Chinese dishes, what is the lower price in other restaurants and which restaurants are having these prices? So here I'll just be using this data where I'll be filtering the data by type of dish by Chinese and then I'll just be knowing that what is the cheapest price. So now for knowing the cheapest price, I need to use a rank function or a row number function, which will basically give me that restaurant 1 or restaurant 2 or restaurant 3 is basically at this rank based on their prices according to their item. So for this, what I'll be doing is I'll just comment this. The reason why I'm commenting this, probably we'll use it later in our other queries. So here I'll be writing my other query, which is select. So I'll just write select star from my other restaurant. So before querying this, I'll just need to add this table as well as on the below one. So what I'll do is I'll just go to the SQL notepad and if you notice here, I have the same thing. I've created the table other restaurant and here are my columns and what is the data type and here I have the values which I've entered for it. So I'll just copy this complete thing over here. So I've mentioned this, I've attached the data as well as the SQL query in a Google Sheet, which is attached in the description below. So if you want to play around with the data, then you feel free to do it. So here I have start from other restaurant. I'll just query this and see whether it's working properly. And yes, it is. So now my whole idea is to create a rank. So the first thing I'll just filter for the type of fish will do this. So this is my first query. So I'll just create a common table expression with Chinese data as this one. And here I'll just create a row number, select star, comma, row number. So now my row number is a So this is a row number where I can use this function to basically give me a rank, whether which restaurant is the cheapest at what rank is it. So what I'll be doing is I'll have to partition it by, I need to tell it that I want to partition it by item code. And when I take an item code, I want to see what are the different prices of different restaurants and order it by ascending order and then give them a rank. So here what I'll be doing is the formatter usually is row number. I'll need to mention over and open the bracket, and then I need to mention the two key pairs. So I need to mention the partition by as well as order by. So I'll just mention I want to partition it by item ID, but I need to order by price. But I need to order by price in an ascending order. So I'll just mention this, and that's it. It will put me a row number for these things. And I'll just mention this as price rank, let's say PR from, I'll take this data from here. Yes. So now here I have this complete data in row number. So if you notice, when I query this, for each dish as a Singapore noodles, I've got restaurant 231, and this is ordered based on the prices. And here I have the rank as well, which is 1, 2, 3, based on the ascending order. So now from this data, I just need rank 1. So what I'll do is I'll just create another CTE. So I'll just create this as a under table. So let me create this as uh, data rank as and select star from data rank where we are equal to 1. So here I'll only get the cheapest price. So definitely if the price is same at one level, then the price, the row number will function will work on the data source order. So here, if you notice, for Singapore noodles, I have the item name over here as well as the price over here, which is there. So if I just scroll over the data, I get to know that restaurant 2 is more like mostly that is the only restaurant which is coming, the cheapest price. So definitely from a base of 3 restaurants which I have as my competitors, restaurant 2 is the like cheapest price compared to those 3. Definitely I haven't added the data of my restaurant to see the effective price comparison. So here I have answered the second question to in order to understand that what is the lower price in other restaurants as well as which restaurants are having these prices. Now, the next step, what I'll need to know that in each kind of cuisine or each type of dish, what is my price competitiveness? So, how do we understand this? Is price competitiveness can be calculated based on multiple ways. So, there could be one way that if I have 10 dishes and out of which 4 are competitive compared to the other market. So, if I have, let's say, 5 competitors and out of the 5 competitors, I'll find the cheapest competitor for each product. If I have, let's say, chart item over here, which is Pani Puri, I'll be seeing that which are the restaurants offering that, and I'll be selecting the cheapest of them. And after selecting the cheapest of them, I'll be comparing my prices with that. So based on this comparison, if I have 10 products and 4 of them are competitive than the market, then I'll be mentioning as 40% competitive. So we'll be using the same method and approach over here. The other ways are basically calculated that what is my sales of those products which are competitive compared to the complete sales. So I can even do it by that. Or maybe if I have, let's say, Google Analytics data where I know that how many views or impressions does it get, does each item get. So I can basically calculate the price competitiveness based on that as well. So here I'll be doing the first method where we will be comparing in total number of products items itself. So the first thing what I need to do is for comparing the prices, what I'll be doing is first I'll be taking this data itself. So I don't need the Chinese data, and I'll just write all data where I have for all the restaurants. But here I'll be using the rank over here, data with rank, and I'll just use this as all data. After I receive this, now the next step is I want to basically join this competition data with my restaurant data to check the prices. So what I'll do is I'll just create this another city lowest price as. So this is my lowest price data. Now what I'll do is I'll just combine my price as well as the lowest price data. So I'll just write both data as. So here I'll just be selecting from my restaurant. So I'll be using an inner join on this one, lowest price. So I'll be joining my restaurant with the lowest price on the item ID itself. So here I've joined it. The next thing what I need is I just need my restaurant dot item ID. So here I want the item ID from my restaurant itself. So I'm just mentioning it earlier and then mentioning a dot. So I just need item ID from my restaurant. Now the next thing what I need is I need the type of dish which is there. So I'll take that as well as from my restaurant. So here is type of dish. So here I have item ID, type of dish, as well as now the next thing what I need to know is whether it's a competitive or not. So for that, I need to have the price. So I'll just copy this current complete thing over here. So this is my final price. And here I have the restaurant as well as the price. So the restaurant and the price is from the lowest price table. And after I join this, I'll just run this. Right, it has given me an error over here. Yes, because I haven't written any SQL query. So I need to note that after my CTEs, which are over, I need to mention this as a SQL query. I can just mention all as CTEs. It doesn't know what to run. So I'll just select this and run it. So here I have for each type of dish, what is the final price of my thing as well as the price of the competition. This is the cheapest one. So here I have chart, I have final price. So now my next step is to understand which one of this is competitive and which one is not competitive. So here I'll be using comma because this is my new table. Also, I'll be creating another table over here. So I'll have the form comparison data as. So here I'll be using just one additional column. So here I'll just write select from bow data, just select start. And here I just need this thing where if my final price is less than equal to. So now I'm even mentioning that if my final price is equal to the competition price, then it is competitive. Else it is non-comp. So I'll just mention this as compo here. So here I have this column. So now in the end, what I need to do is I want to know that how many are competitive, and I need to divide that complete number with the total number of products for each type of dish so that I can get a percentage value. So here when I do this and I run this, oh yes, sorry, it is still an CTE. So I'll just write the final query. So what I need is I need the type of dish over here. I need to know the count, or maybe let's say the sum. So I'll just take a sum that if my comp equal to competitive, then take the sum of one, else is zero. And I'll take the sum of this, and I'll be dividing it by the count of item ID. So this is my value. This is converting it into a percentage, and I'll just round this to zeroth position. So what I've done is I've taken the sum of it, I've divided to the count of it, and I'm doing this from data group by one. So here for each type of dish, I'll be getting this value. So if you notice, if I just distribute these two values, so I'll just take this value, put it over here, and I'll take the count of item ID. So if you notice here, I have type of dish mentioned here, chart Chinese North Indian, where I know that how many items are competitive, which is 3, 3, 3 in each of them. How many total items are there in each cuisine, which is 6 in chart, 8 in Chinese, and 6 in North Indian. And here is my division, which will help me to understand that 3 by 6, which is 50%, is competitive, while here is 3 by 8, which is 38, and here is 50 again, 3 by 6. So here I'll get to know that what is my competitive percentage in terms of the count of items which I have for my restaurant. How we rate our prices for North India versus other restaurants. So now what I need to do is, but now in the next question, what I need to do is for North India, I want to compare my prices with each of the restaurants. So with the restaurant one, what is my competitive percentage? With the restaurant two, what is my competitive percentage? And so on. So here we just do a tweak in the same query. Instead of type of dish, we just need to get the restaurant name in the group by. So for this, the first thing what we need to convert is to get the data for only North Indian. For only North Indian dishes. So we have got all the competition data, North Indian dishes. Now we don't need the data rank over here and the lowest price because we'll be comparing our prices with all the restaurants, and we'll be inner joining. So this data is already filtered. All right, and the next step, instead of using type of dish, we'll just use the restaurant. One thing what we need to replace is the all data where we need to join it with. So we will be joining it with all data and the restaurant and price. So here what we are trying to do is we taking all the competition data where the type of dish is North Indian. We are taking our data and doing an inner join. So when we doing inner join, it will only join all the records which are matching with the second table. So that's the reason we get all that data, and it will add the comp and non-comp column. And the last thing, what we are doing is we are trying to summarize this into a restaurant. So we are saying that in North Indian, cuisine. Restaurant 1 has is competitive across 4 dishes out of 6. In restaurant 2, we have 4, and restaurant 3, we have 4 dishes, to which it is competitive from 2 and 3 respectively. So you have 50%, 75%, and 67%. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you want to understand that how can we use the same data and analyze it in other tools, other ways such as Excel or Tableau, then I have videos for that as well. Pricing analytics using Tableau as well as Excel for the same data set.